think it's a backslide.
Okay.
You know, that ECOWAS, you know, the decisions that were taken on Saturday. One, we impose sanctions to elicit compliance by the authorities in Niger, um, you know, of our protocols and others. That was the intention. And after careful analysis over the months, we've seen that the sanctions have had an unintended consequence on the livelihoods of the population, you know, in this country. You know, so at least ECOWAS is there for the people, you know, right? And it is not, you know, there for like the heads of state or anything like that. So it was very important to review, you know, the sanctions regime. If you remember, right from the beginning, ECOWAS even put the military option on the table.
Yes.
That has gone to the back burner. And then we've reviewed also the economic and financial, you know, sanctions, particularly the border closure and the commercial sanctions, which are actually sanctions on a bilateral basis, right? Like for Nigeria cutting off electricity supply, you know, to Niger. It's not an ECOWAS sanction. But since all member states were supposed to introduce measures to elicit compliance from the junta, you know, like we virtually hit Niger with the kitchen sink, right? Right from the beginning,
Yeah,
as
right
they
from the
say.
beginning, yeah.
Yeah, and of course there are, you know, unintended consequences on it, and also a lot of misinformation with it. Number one, ECOWAS never imposed sanctions on items of humanitarian value, food, medicines, and others.
There was never a sanction on
They
that.
were never sanctioned. And at a time, it was actually the regime in Niger that refused to allow vehicles, even with humanitarian, you know, goods to enter the country. At times fearing that probably, you know, such movement would be used as a Trojan horse to attack them. But they were giving that impression that children were left without medicines, water, treatment, and all that. So it became, you know, something like an albatross on the neck of ECOWAS, and it is very important to get the people on board. And so that is why these sanctions, particularly financial, economic, you know, sanctions, and then particularly the border closure, the airspace, and all that, we remove them. But the political sanctions remain.
Okay.
All right.
You know,